113th SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream here on YouTube, coming at you from the Connecticut River Valley Delta. How are you, everybody? A few technical difficulties, but we're here. Scott is here. Chaz is here. Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome. You are watching the 113th SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream, coming at you live from the Connecticut River Delta Valley. How is everybody? A few technical difficulties, but here we are. Chaz is here. Scott is here. We got a poll question up and running. I'm here for your guitar questions, in between your questions. We have plenty to talk about. I'm going to teach you a bunch of stuff. A segment of our program I call WTF. WTF, of course, stands for Weekly Teaching Feature. We got a handful of weekly teaching features today. We have two guitar play-alongs. So keep your guitar handy, get a capo handy. One song is a classic, and the other song is about the guy who wrote the classic. We've never done that before in dozens and dozens and dozens of these guitar play-alongs. So kind of a fun little twist. Two play-alongs today. I think you're going to kick out of it. What else can we talk about today? We're going to talk about who's in town. We're going to talk about my dumb question of the week. I ask it so you don't have to. We got a student quote of the week. The poll question of the night: is your guitar the right one for you? Yes, you might say it's the right one because I love the way it sounds, love the way it looks, love how it feels. It's the right one for me. I'm so happy. Some of you might say, yeah, it's good enough for now. It's getting me by, but maybe you scroll and scroll and you think about what your ideal guitar would be. And some of you know that your guitar is not the right one for you. Maybe something about it doesn't feel right. It's too big, too small. The strings are too hard to press down. Doesn't look great. We'll see, you know. All right, so lots and lots to do tonight. Stick around. Make it worth your while. Let's get right into learning something, man. Enough of my chit-chat. I don't want to take any more time away from the educational process. Thirds. Let's talk about thirds, man. Soloing with thirds. And I'm going to pull up the PDF here. This PDF is going to be available very soon on my website, www.song-bike.com. But here it is right before your very eyes right now, soloing with thirds. If your screen goes black, don't even worry about it because it'll look great in a second. There it is, soloing with thirds. Hello, Wingo, checking in from Illinois. Excellent. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, soloing with thirds. Tell you what, I'm going to blow this up. Here it comes. It's going to get big, okay? Big, 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 big. All right, that's big. I know. Is that too big? Anybody? Is that too big? Okay, soloing. What are we talking about? We're talking about this sound. What a pretty sound. If that sounds familiar, you've heard guitar players soloing with thirds ever since you heard guitar players, right? So now you're going to be the person soloing with thirds. Let's talk about the physical stuff. We'll get into the music theory and the name thirds in a minute, but let's get right into the physical stuff. In the fine print right under the title, an extremely important detail: keep first finger on the first string, okay? First string, right? Skinny E string, right? No matter what you play, that whole top line, make that the one constant. Do not use any other finger on the first string other than your index finger. Do not lift your index finger off the first string. This will make your life much easier. I do encourage you to look at your two options. The two options all the way across that first line are notes that are essentially 1 fret apart, like 2 and 3, and notes that are 2 frets apart, such as 3 and 5. If the notes are just 1 fret apart, use your first 2 fingers. If they're 2 frets apart, like 3 and 5, highly encourage you to use your first and third fingers, index and ring fingers. Notice, again, your index fingers on that skinny first string no matter what. Harmony, that's harmony. What a beautiful sound, all right? Every note that I just played is a note from the D major scale. But because it's two different notes in the D major scale, we hear harmony. Okay, so the name thirds, it has to do with playing the first note of any scale and the third note of any scale. Or it could be the second and the fourth note of the scale, or the third and the fifth. You get to see the pattern here, right? Imagine walking over to a piano and playing one white key, and then skipping over a white key and playing the next white key at the same time. That's a very pianistic way of looking at what a third is, okay? So we're playing two notes from the same scale. This is one way to think of it. Two notes from the same scale that are almost adjacent, but there's one note in between. Okay, that's one way to look at the music theory of it. We could talk about the music theory a lot, but I want to get right into playing stuff. So the top of the page is everything you need in terms of your fretting hand. I highly recommend doing this with a pick, but yes, you could do it with your thumb and index finger. You could pinch the strings. You could get... You should have the ability to do it with a pick, and then you could choose to do it with your bare fingers, but my intention is for you to do it with your pick. In terms of getting being successful at this, you want to make sure the listener can hear both of the skinny strings equally. Hold the pick a little bit loosely and be careful that the second string, the B string, doesn't overwhelm the first string. As you pick down, the second string is going to get more of your energy, right? The energy is going to dissipate a little bit as you get to the skinniest string. We do not want that, though. We want an equal sound. What's the key? The key is tilting the pick up towards the ceiling a little bit, so it kind of glances off the second string on its way to the first string. Does that make sense? Bottom line is, it's incredibly important that we hear both of the strings clearly, the volume is equal, and so on. Okay, so now some teachers might just say, there you go, have fun soloing with thirds in the key of D. But no, we're going to do one better than that, at least one better. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to make this smaller. Okay. There you go. Okay, so beginning here in line 2, what I did was give you some ideas of how you can get even more musical with these combinations known as thirds. I'll say it again and again. Your index finger is in charge of the skinny string. Okay, so that first example with a big capital D above it. We are lifting off your index finger, ironically, for a moment before we hammer back down on the second fret. Now, I'm doing this with an up pick to guarantee that that skinny first string is loud and proud. Okay, so the intention here is to give you a creative idea of something you can do with the very first third in the top line. You don't have to do it as an upstroke, but it's one way to make sure the listener hears that skinny string nice and loudly, since that's where the hammer-on is happening. Okay, take a look at the second example, the one that says E minor up above it. By the way, all the chords that are named up above, those are chords. They are the chords in the key of D. E minor is nicknamed the 2 chord. So what do I indicate there? 5 and 3. The 5 is going to be your ring finger sliding up to 5. From where? You pick. When there's a slide indicated, that black slash mark, when there's a slide indicated, but it doesn't tell you where to begin the slide, it's because by definition, it's a fast slide, and you decide where to begin. Don't start too far away from the destination, because the whole point is to get there fast. Just then I started on around the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, slid up to 5, and there's my first string, 3rd fret. Those notes reflect an E minor chord. Doesn't mean you have to wait for an E minor chord before you play those notes, but if you're curious, those two notes could be described as reflecting the E minor chord. Okay, check out what happens next. The F sharp minor riff. You could say it's kind of the opposite. Sliding up to 5 on the first string, index finger, and then finishing with the second string 7th fret. Okay, now I'm going to pause here. What you see in front of you is not literally a guitar solo. It's simply little riffs that are based on the thirds you see up above, right? And I gave them chord names up above just to put them in a context, you know? Again, it is not a solo. I mean, you're welcome to play them in order the way we're doing it right now, but it doesn't make some magic song by doing them in this order. Okay, next line down, G, the G riff. Ooh, a juicy one. A double stop slide. A double stop typically is 2 strings, typically the 2 treble strings at the same time. Doesn't have to be the 2 treble strings, but that's what it is right here. I'm fretting the 7 and the 8, but ultimately I'm going to slide up to the 7 and the 8. So where am I going to begin the slide? Again, from 1 fret away, 2 frets away. Doesn't matter. What matters is you get to the 7, 8 fast. Give a little vibrato once you're there. Again, make sure that you can hear both of the strings clearly. If there's one challenge that most of my students have when they do stuff like this involving 2 strings at the same time is only 1 string is audible, right? Something's happening so that we don't hear both strings. That's a problem. If I had to guess, it's typically the finger, the middle finger in this case, that's touching the second string. It's leaning over and dampening the first string. It means you got to really arch those fingers just to test out to make sure you've got 2 good notes. Very fun, okay? The A7 riff. Ooh, this is a good one. Darn it, I didn't change the name. Well, that's okay. The riff still stands, okay, but the riff you're looking at that says A7 up above it, I'll change that in post-production. Ignore the name, but what we're looking at is that thing that says 6, 7, 7, 8. Okay, imagine we want that 7, 8 to be our destination, right? The 7, 8. But we play the prior note of each of those 2 notes. So on the skinny string, we go 6 up to the 7. And on the second string, we play the 7 up to the 8. I jokingly call that playing the wrong note right before you play the right note. But because you end up with the 2 sounds that you intend, the skinny string 7 and the second string 8, the listener is happy. You just got them there in this nice jazzy way. Also described as playing the wrong note right before you play the right note. When I fix this, I'm not going to change the name, actually. I'm going to take each of those numbers and increase it by 2. So it'll be 8, 9, 9, 10. Because that will reflect an A7 chord, which was my intention. Okay, almost there. The B minor. That might not sound particularly minor to you. That's okay. It wouldn't sound minor to me either, except I know that if somebody was strumming an B minor chord in the background, the riff would be extremely harmonious with the B minor chord. Okay, so that riff, check it out. I'm talking about the one at the bottom right, 10, 12, 10. You're going to want to, well, you don't have to bar the, I was going to say you bar the 2 skinny strings at 10. You don't have to, but you're going to do a hammer-on the second string, 10 with your index, 12 with your ring finger. There's the hammer-on. I only plucked it once, right? and then treble E string 10. I'm trying to brainwash you into hearing the B minor chord as our like home bass. Okay, last one, I believe. Did we do one? Yeah. Okay. The final chord in the key of D, in terms of the diatonic chords, we've already done D, E minor, F sharp minor. There, by the way, I'll talk to you about that last measure in a second. But basically, I wrote out the chords in tab. The chord that gets used the least when songwriters write songs in the key of D is the C sharp diminished chord. Sounds a little raw. It doesn't mean we can't employ thirds to reflect that chord if we chose to. So that's that 12-14. It's the exact same as the riff we just did based at 10. Now it's based at 12. Okay, so we'll get to the chords at the bottom of the page in 1 second. I'm going to scroll up. I might even zoom out a little bit. Okay, why not? Let's go all the way. Okay, so the intention of this page is to give you a new toy to play with, and I strongly encourage you to think of this as a toy, something to have fun with, right? You could either record yourself playing chords. Well, I'll tell you more about the chords in a minute. Or if any of you guys are lucky enough to have a looper, you can get a loop going with a couple of these chords. You don't need all the chords, but a couple of chords in the key of D. And then just have a blast soloing with thirds, using your own creativity. And if you would like to, you could use some of the ideas I put out there just to flesh out the whole page. The top of the page is what you need to know. The rest of the page is just me being creative and giving you some things to mess around with. And instead of just making them appear random, I put the chord names up above to indicate, give you a little bit of context. Again, it doesn't mean you have to play the chord when you play that riff, or you can't play the riff unless the chord is in the background. But it's good to have labels for stuff, you know. You can play any of these riffs anytime. Say a band is on say your loop is on a D chord for 8 slow counts. You can play everything in this page and knock yourself out. Improvise, have fun. But after those 8 counts, let's say you change to a G chord, then you might want to consider playing that G riff right there before you go on and get creative and improvise and go crazy. Because that doing something that reflects the chord change makes you sound so pro, you know. If you do create a loop for yourself or record yourself, I encourage you to give yourself plenty of time on each chord, which brings me to the bottom of the page. Okay, so at the bottom of the page, I'm going to zoom back in here. I wanted to boom, 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 boom. Don't worry, here it comes. Okay. The bottom of the page, those are the diatonic chords in the key of D. What does diatonic mean? It means the chords that only use notes from the D major scale. No exceptions, no funny business. Just the absolute most recognizably conventional harmonious chords in the key of D, including favorites such as D, E minor, G, but also a few chords that you might play as bar chords: F sharp minor, B minor, C sharp diminished. But so whether you play them as bar chords or not, I'm showing you ways you can play all the chords in the key of D in kind of easy ways. See that F sharp minor 2-2-2. Now, for those of you who are very comfortable with bar chords, knock yourself out, do whatever you want. But everybody else, you're welcome to play F sharp minor as those three notes. If you're going to do it that way, definitely you use just one finger. My index finger is doing a little partial bar, 3 treble strings, 2nd fret. You've heard the term triad. There's an example of a triad. It's a minor triad with 1 finger, right? because it's based at the 2nd fret. That particular grip gets me an F sharp minor right there. It will get me a minor chord no matter where I go. Right there, it's an F sharp minor. And the F sharp note itself is skinny string, skinny string, 2nd fret. Little E string, 1st string, 2nd fret. That's the root note, F sharp. Okay. Now, some of you are freaking out over that C sharp diminished chord. It's actually 3 of the notes from the A7 chord. Skip back a little bit. See the A7 chord? You guys probably know a few different ways of playing an A7. I just put the A7 version that needs the fewest amount of fingers, or the maximum amount of open strings. So you might notice that the C sharp diminished is actually 3 of the notes from an A7 chord. Go figure. Is that a coincidence? Nope. But you may not love the sound of that C sharp diminished, and if you don't love it, you are not alone. Many songwriters would write lots of songs in the key of D without including that chord. It's a little bit full of tension. But hey, that doesn't mean you can't use it. So if you are a songwriter, that bottom of that page right there, that could be a bunch of information that you could base your next song on. Does that make sense? The song would be in the key of D if you're using those chords. I would recommend that you make sure you play the D chord a lot in your song, just to keep the listener, keep their ear focused. Some of you might know that there's a concept called the relative minor. You could use that exact group of chords and write a song in the key of B minor. If you are so inclined, just make sure you play B minor a lot. Start your song with B minor. Play lots of B minors during your chord changes, and then end your song in B minor. You will have convinced the listener that your song is in B minor. And you could write a second song in the key of D major with the same bunch of chords, but the same advice applies. Maybe start with a D major chord, play plenty of D majors in there, and end on a D major chord. Okay, so this was not really a chord lesson, but I don't want any of this stuff to be theoretical. So that's why I am setting you guys up with not just a cute little toy to play with in terms of playing guitar solos, but a context to put it in so you can do it all yourself, you know. Secondarily, you could go on YouTube, find a backing track in the key of D major, D is in Delta, and just use that top of that page and just go nuts and have a ball improvising and soloing with the thirds at the top of the page, right there, and use the backing track as your backing track, right? You guys know that, right? YouTube is full of backing tracks. When this live stream is done, you could just do a YouTube search for backing tracks D major, and lots will show up. Okay, there you go. Questions, comments? How you guys feeling about that? Pretty good? I love when the chat goes quiet during our weekly teaching features like that, because I have the sense that you guys are practicing and doing stuff. Hey, Barry, thank you for your super chat donation. I appreciate that. Booba John, Chan, Left Hand Curtis. Hey, you guys. Check some new names and some familiar names. Good to hear from all of you. Hope you guys are all doing well. I see you guys are talking about the different guitars that you own based on the poll question, which is poll question is your current guitar the right one for you? Go ahead and do vote in that poll. We'll check in with the results here and there. Okay, let's bang out a couple of our regular features. My own dumb question of the week, I ask it so you don't have to. It ties into the poll question a little bit. My own dumb question of the week: when is it okay to blame the guitar? Maybe things aren't going so well and you start to think, is it the guitar? When is it okay to blame the guitar? That's a dumb question, right? It just means we all should practice more. Now, you can't blame the guitar, but, well, maybe. So when is it okay to blame the guitar for anything you're struggling with? It's okay to blame the guitar if the strings are too hard to press down. How do you know if the strings are too hard to press down? Well, if you have any doubts about that, bring it to a guitar tech, bring it to a luthier, bring it to a friend who has maybe more experience than you do. It's especially if you're playing a guitar that has not been in the hands of a guitar tech for years and years and years. Maybe as far as you know, no professional has ever done anything with your guitar. Yeah, it's probably time to bring it to a guitar tech. What if you think you're playing well, but your guitar is always out of tune, always? Well, maybe it's time to get new guitar strings. So in that sense, you could blame the guitar for that. It's not that your tuner doesn't work. It's not that you have a bad ear. Maybe just old strings that aren't staying in tune. What if the guitar neck is a big, fat guitar neck, maybe larger than average, and your hands are not larger than average? Or even if they are, maybe the neck just doesn't feel right to you. Is it the guitar's fault? Well, it was just built that way. But maybe it's not the right guitar for you. You know, there's guitars with thinner necks. There's guitars with thicker necks. I've had plenty of students who want a wider fretboard, a wider neck, you know, more room for their fingers to move. And they're willing to pay the price, you know, in reaching around the fretboard because they want more space for their fingers. Yeah. So can you blame the guitar? Well, maybe a little bit. DAC Poet is in the chat. Christian from Denmark is in the chat. Hey, you guys. We have Denmark in the house. We have the UK in the house. We have Wales in the house, I believe, right? Yeah. Is the guitar to blame? What if you're playing a big old dreadnought acoustic and your picking arm is up like this? Maybe it's not the right guitar for you. So there's the dumb question. Hey, Barry's checking in from Ireland. Hey, Barry. Rock Lobster in the house. Can you blame the guitar sometimes? A little bit, maybe. Definitely as the weeks and months go on, maybe years, and the guitar just doesn't feel right, then it really is time to consider your options. Number one, the cheapest thing is some new strings. Next, bring it to a guitar tech. Go to a guitar store and just try out other guitars. That costs $0. Leave your credit card at home, but try out some other guitars. If certain guitars just feel so much better than your guitar, okay, that's telling you something, right? Okay, so there's the dumb question of the week. I ask it so you don't have to. When is it okay to blame the guitar? Sometimes. Of course, if you play the guitar for 5 minutes once a week, you might have to put more quality time in before you can make big judgments on if the guitar is exactly right or not. Barry says, I've seen great guitar players make magic from a 100-euro guitar. Yeah. I heard a story. I probably shared this with you guys already about Eric Clapton sitting in with some band, and they didn't have a great amp for him to play through. And bottom line is they just put him through a very standard, not glamorous amp. And the person telling the story said he sounded great. He sounded exactly like Eric Clapton. Barry says when the action is too high, that's right. High action means the strings are extra hard to press down. Ooh, last thing. We'll work this into the dumb question segment. Are the strings supposed to be farther away from the frets, higher up the neck? Yes. Some people say, man, at the 12th fret, my strings are way higher than they are down at the first few frets. That is not necessarily a sign that your guitar is out of whack. In general, guitar necks bow a tiny bit. And one symptom of that is the strings at the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th frets are a little bit harder to press down. That's not necessarily a problem. That in of itself shouldn't set off too many alarm bells. So, yeah. There you go. Okay, I ask it so you don't have to. Hey, let's get right now, you and me, let's get right into our number one play along song of the night, because we've got 2 of them, and let's not waste any more time. Our first play along song of the night. It was a student request, actually, one of my in-person students, actually he's an online student, and he asked about playing this song, and I said, boy, I'd love to play that song. It's a great song. And there we go. Okay. And we're going to do this song. And later in the show, we're going to do a song about the guy who wrote the song. Okay. So the song that's going to get us demonetized tonight from Hank Williams, the song called I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You. And I'm going to show you two different ways of looking at this song. Right now, we have sort of the classic ultimateguitar.com presentation, which is essentially the lyrics and the chords dropped in above the lyrics. You will need a capo. Please put a capo at the 2nd fret. But I'll say this, those of you who are interested in playing some lead guitar on top of this, play along, and you'd rather do that than strum the chords, you do not need a capo. You guys, leave the capo off. And the same thing will apply to the next tune we do a little while from now as well. But if you want to strum the chords, okay, good old Hank Williams, check this out. I'm going to present it two ways for members of my website. Members of my website will also see this right here, the tab, which has the strum pattern written out. Now I'm going to show you the strum pattern right now. Just boom chick, nothing too crazy. But I like presenting it the way you guys are seeing it right here, because my focus is not on the lyrics. My focus is on the guitar part. Okay, nice and straightforward, boom, chick. I'm catching the strings a little bit. After I strum the chord, I'm catching it with a squishy side of my picking hand, because that's in keeping with the feeling of the song, you know, and you'll see that when you do that. So that is what you're looking at right now is the song written the way I think a guitar teacher should write the song, because it's all about how to strum, you know, the things that you need for the song. You need D7 and G for the song. At a certain point, I did the guitar teacher thing where you just write slash marks to represent the chord strums. Does that make sense? It makes things fast, easy, and looks less cluttered. The top line I put in the chord strumming, you know, strums, but then, you know, at a certain point you guys get the idea. So if you said to me, what's the strum pattern of this song, I would say the strum pattern is boom chick, boom, and that's it. Nothing too crazy. Okay, now, oh, a little bit, can we get this? Okay, there we go. Now this is what I'm going to leave on the screen, but again, both of these pages are going to be available on my, there we go, on my website, www.song-bike.com. Okay, I'll load those in after tonight, after the live stream. So here's another way of looking at it. Still with a capo at the 2nd fret, down at the bottom of the page, for those of you who want to solo along, and there is a solo section right in the middle of the tune, I recommend that scale. No capo. I'll say it again, no capo. That's why it's in all caps there. No capo, the E major pentatonic. There you go, 9/12, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, blah, blah, blah. And please do, I hope of all the dozens and dozens of people watching right now, I hope some of you do take the lead guitar approach, just a nice E major pentatonic scale. Okay, the rest of you, capo at the 2nd fret. What can I tell you? Pretty straightforward. Change chords where the lyrics tell you to change chords. You're going to be playing a lot of D chords, D like Delta, a lot of D chords in this song. So we have verse 1 and verse 2, which are identical except for the lyrics. We have bridge number 1, which is really the same sequence 2 times, G, D, A7, D. Then Hank Williams does a solo section. Essentially, the band plays verses 1 and 2 again, while soloists solo some beautiful steel guitar, some great, you know, classic Hank Williams sounds in there, the solo section. And coming out of the solos, we're on to bridge number 2, which is the same as bridge number 1, just different lyrics. But again, from a guitar teacher point of view, the verses are all identical and the bridges are all identical, right? It's the same kind of thing. Okay, questions, comments, you guys good to go? We have not done a Hank Williams song for a long time. We did one a while ago, but I think it's been a long time. No questions, no comments. You guys are good. Ooh, I'm playing out of my Milkman sound equipment tonight. I hope it sounds good on your end. It sounds good on my end. Let's just jump right in. I'm going to vamp on a D chord, and you'll hear me today. I passed you on, and the word on is when you're going to change that A7. I will take things a little bit slower than the recording, just a little bit. All right, going to vamp on the D chord. I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, here we go. Today I passed you on the street, and my heart fell at your feet. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. Somebody else stood by your side, and it looks so satisfied. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. A picture from the past came slowly stealing as I brush your arm and walk so close to you. Suddenly I got that old time feeling. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. Do, 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 It's hard to know another's lips will kiss you and hold you just the way I used to do. Heaven only knows how much I miss you. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. All right, now I threw in a D7 chord there towards the end just to prove a point. Anytime you're on a D chord and you know a G is coming up, if you have the time and the presence of mind, you can throw in a D7 to build up some nice tension to get you into the G chord. So even though that's not what's written on the paper, I thought I would just go for it. And so I did. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? Pretty straightforward tune. That's why it made the list. Easy tune, not a fast tune, famous tune, an opportunity to play some lead guitar. What's better than that? Okay, so don't go anywhere because in a little while we will play a song about the songwriter here. And again, this page that you're looking at and this page will both be available very, very, very soon on my website, song-bike.com. Rock Lobster says, nice job. Hey, thanks, man. Hank Williams, the song sings itself. Anyone remember the Leonard Cohen song called Tower of Song, where he referenced Hank Williams? You know, a lot of our favorite songwriters, their favorite songwriter is Hank Williams, or at least one of the ones they hold in highest regard. Hank Williams, 29 short years, but a lot of great music. So there you go. All right. Questions, comments, thoughts? You guys, I'm here for your questions. If you have a question for me, put it in the chat with a whole bunch of question marks in advance. That's how I know it's aimed at me. You guys know the routine. Student quote of the week. A student, in fact, just today, I didn't have a student quote of the week until this student came in today, and he was working on playing He's working on playing a chord where we did not want the skinny string to be audible. You're going to strum other strings, but not the skinny string. And the sound of the skinny string kept sneaking through. And he finally said, stay dead. Because we were trying to mute out the skinny string with his fretting fingers, intentionally. And stay dead. He was trying to convince that string to stop making sounds. That's the student quote of the week. Sometimes you just want a string to stop. Stay dead. Who's in town this week? I'm going to make this fast because I don't have tons of information about these performers at the moment. I will put their names in the description of this live stream, and I'll probably include some YouTube links so you can learn more about them. You know what I could do? We could do show and tell instead of me just saying their names. What fun is that? That's not fun. Okay, here's who's coming through town. And again, if your screen goes black for a minute, don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, there we go. If your screen is not showing the following performers, that's okay. It probably will in a minute. And in the meantime, I will chat with you about who you're seeing. So here in Old Saybrook, Connecticut, beautiful little theater nicknamed the Kate, also known as the Katharine Hepburn Cultural Arts Center, because Katharine Hepburn had a summer house here in town. Now, Judith Hill is in town tonight. We talked about her last week. She's great. Susie Bogus tomorrow night. We talked about her last week. She's great. Shawn Mullins on Tuesday. There you go. Shawn Mullins, as described here, a folk rock singer, songwriter. He's come. I recognize that name. I don't know too much about him. I should recognize that name. Who else is coming through town? I tend to focus not so much on the theatrical stuff, but the live performers. Blues guitarist Coco Montoya is in town on Thursday. The Smithereens with guest vocalist John Cowsill in town on Friday. Pretty cool. And okay, check out. Okay. Every once in a while, I get a text on my phone. I want to make sure it's not someone telling me something super important, like, hey, man, the live stream is going off the rails or something like that. I don't know. And then this is where I usually call it. We go about 1 week in advance. So next Saturday, the James Montgomery and Sean Chambers and the Savoy Brown Rhythm Section, that's who's in town next Saturday night. Okay, so that gives you a sense for who's on tour. Everybody see the screen okay? Did anyone get only a black screen and you didn't actually see any of these people I'm talking to? Hopefully you guys have seen this. Hey, these are hardworking folks traveling around the country. Hey, Randy got here just in time for the play-along. Awesome, Randy. We're going to do 2 play-alongs tonight, so don't go anywhere. Randy, you were doing rehearsals tonight. Is that right? I believe that's where you were tonight. You get a pass. It's okay. You can show up late. You got a great excuse. Yeah, you guys see the screen okay? If not, you didn't miss too much, but that's who's in town. Okay, let's stop sharing that right there. If they're coming through my neck of the woods, they're coming through your neck of the woods. Check. Hey, my son's birthday. Coming up, man. Coming up. 21 years old. Remember your 21st birthday? If you remember, it wasn't much of a birthday, was it? No, I'm just kidding. I'll let you make up your mind on this 21st birthday. I thought it'd be great to go to the Newport Folk Festival for my 21st birthday. And it was, man. It's a cool folk festival. A cool year. So that was my big fling for my 21st birthday. No regrets, man. That's how I roll. So my son's turning 21 in a few days. Happy birthday, son. Love you. And looking forward to seeing him. My mom is sometimes watching live. Mom, hello. How are you? Hope you're doing well. And my favorite, the moderator I'm married to, Music Fan 1004. I have not seen her needing to moderate you guys, so let's keep it that way. Sweetie, I hope you're having a good day. Beginner guitar lessons. I bet he's out there. If you guys need moderating, he's typically our other moderator. But like I said, you guys are pretty well behaved. You guys don't need too much anger management. All right, so let's do another weekly teaching feature, the WTF section of our show. Oh boy, I'm excited about this. You do not need a capo, you need a guitar. What else is new? That's all right. We have been talking about bass note runs, and I'm gonna throw some more your way. Now, we've been doing this quite a bit, and there we go. I'm going to try to zip through these a little bit quicker, not because they're not worthy of it, but because those of you who have been sticking with me and doing these bass note runs for a few live streams now, I bet you guys are getting pretty good at these, and you might not need me to go on and on about these. Okay, so on the screen in front of you, pages 9 and 10 of a little project I call the Ultimate Guide. The Ultimate Guide to Bass Note Runs. Very ambitious title. We have done many bass note runs connecting major chords. Last week we started some bass note runs connecting minor chords. In front of you, you should see A minor and D minor chords with a bunch of bass note runs connecting them. I hope that's what you're seeing. It's definitely what I'm seeing. Okay, now I chose A minor and D minor because they are easy chords, they are minor chords, and they are popular chords. D minor, sadly, everyone, let us all take a moment and make sure we know how to play a D minor chord. For reasons known and unknown, D minor does not get the attention it should. It's an extremely important chord. But of all the most common chords, D minor is one of the ones that my students seem the least familiar with. Okay, index finger, first string, first fret. Ring finger, that's the third finger. B string, second string, third fret. Again, second string, third fret. Middle finger, your second finger. Third string, G string, second fret. Please do include the open fourth string, the D string. And guess what? I'm hereby giving you the green light to include the open fifth string. Those of you who are in the chord police, yes, when you play a D minor chord and you include the open A string, the name is officially D minor /A. It's a D minor with A as the lowest note. I did not notate that on here. I could have, chose not to. Okay, so D minor, know it, love it. You need D minor in your life. Okay, so let's just bang these out, man. Everybody see the screen okay? The first two are what I call linear, very straightforward. Here's the number one. I'm just repeating the first line. I'm not going on to the second line. Of course, the goal is to go faster and faster. Wingo says it's the saddest of all chords. Yeah, D minor. Anybody seen the newest Spinal Tap? I haven't seen it yet. D minor, the saddest of all. Okay, now these do sound better and better the faster you go, but they also sound pretty darn good at a medium speed. So, you know. Now, what never changes is the first measure, the A minor, and the third measure, or the D minor. That's the same. What changes is the in-between stuff, the bass note runs. Okay, example 2, by the way, to make it clear, to be clear, these are all separate individual examples. You're welcome to link them all together if you want to, but that's not the intention, at least in the beginning. Okay, example number 2. Here it comes. D minor, A minor. By the way, all downstrokes Isn't that nice? All downstrokes. In a minute, we'll get into some occasions to do an upstroke. This whole page, everything on this page, all downstrokes. Don't worry about getting creative. Even those of you who are great at doing downs and ups and all that stuff, that's not necessary or important here. Okay, now example 3 is when things get a little bit good. Here we go. Now when I say getting a little bit good, they're getting a little bit harder, a little more musical, a little more less predictable, less conventional, okay? Example 3 at the bottom of the page, you got some hammer-ons, a 0-3 hammer-on, followed by 2 on the next string. I'm doing that hammer-on with my ring finger, my 3rd finger, and then my middle finger plays the 2 on the D string. I mean, in general, my ring finger is available at the 3rd fret. You don't have to use it, but it's to me, it feels like it's ready to go there. Okay. Questions, comments? These are not the kind of things that I expect you to play with no mistakes, to play fast right away. But with just a little bit of time, you can start feeling good about connecting these minor chords with these riffs. This page is part of the PDF called The Ultimate Guide to Bass Note Runs, and it's available at my website. There's about, I think about 100 PDFs on my website. Those of you who are members, I hope you all become members, you're going to have to scroll up a little bit because I keep adding pages to the original document, and the original document was from weeks and weeks and weeks ago. In general, the PDFs are in chronological order. The oldest are like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the newest are number 99, 100, except for this one. But it's just called The Ultimate Guide to Bass Note Runs. So if you're on the website in the PDF section, just scroll up. I believe it's the 60th or 61st PDF, right around that ballpark. Okay, you ready? Ooh, some good ones here. I'm going to stop talking and just play this for a minute because I want to sound good. Here's number 4, top of the page. I'm going to repeat number 4 a few times. It's a groove, man. It's a groove. Nice little dark, little bluegrassy groove. You got 2 pull-offs in measure 2. But the ending measure, ooh, groovy. A down, up, a fast little bluegrassy down, up on the D string, followed by 2 slow, small bends on the 5th string. That's the 5th string, 3rd fret. I'm putting my ring finger there. Out of habit, I'm doing those bends as a 3-finger bend, but they're only quarter bends, so they neither require much muscle or much effort, much time, much stress. So whatever you do, don't bend your brains out, and don't spend too much time there. Invest. That's the word I'm looking for. Don't invest too much in those notes. That just a little bend is all you need. It's like spicy mustard. Just a little bit. A little bit's enough. Hey, getting back to the second measure of example 4. Second measure, the pull off from 2 to 0. Guess what? My middle finger is already on that 2 from the A minor chord. You always want to keep your eyes open for a finger that is already in the right place. Okay, example 5. Ooh. Ooh, another quarter bend at the bottom of the page. Again, don't invest too much in that note. Just a little bend. That's all you need. Putting too much effort in, well, number one, it'll slow you down. Could sound kind of cartoonish if you bend it too much. It can sound a little clumsy. Just a quarter bend literally is the least amount of bending you can do on a string, you know? Hey, A to Z. Thanks for being here, AZ. AZ says, I don't actually get to checking that often, but when I do, appreciate your lessons and tips and positivity. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. So as you can see, we're on example number 5 of connecting A minor to D minor, and we're getting kind of fancy. At this point, we're kind of showing off. Nothing wrong with that, you know? But if you think about where we started with a more modest, and now we're going, right? Because why not, you know? Okay, last one, fast one. The last one, I decided to totally take another direction because it's kind of fun. And I'm gonna make this larger and scroll up. Okay, so here we are, number 6. You guys see what we're talking about right here, number 6? Now this is gonna be a little bit different. It's not the hardest one. It's gonna involve 2 power chords as a means of connecting the A minor and the D. Okay, example 6 in slow motion. A little bit different, right? A little bit different, kind of heavy. Those of you who are maybe playing electric guitar, you could crank up a little distortion, and all of a sudden those power chords could sound like something, right? So the second measure of example 6, that 0-2, you already have what you need as you hold the A minor chord. I know you don't need the whole A minor chord, but whatever you do, don't abandon the A minor chord, because that 0-2, that's literally part of an A minor chord. It just, you only need one finger to accomplish that. What I hope you'll do is get accustomed to jumping up. Now, there's no shortcut here. Don't overthink it. You just got to jump up for this C power chord, described as C5. Hey, Moon Pie. Thanks, Moon Pie. Moon Pie says, thanks for your wonderful work. Been following you for years. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Moon Pie 13. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. A little bit goes a long way, right? You know, just, we all need a little pat in the back once in a while. It's like, oh, thanks, man. A little pat in the back. I appreciate that. Thank you. That C power chord, there's no trick to it. Index finger, A string 3rd fret. That's the 5th string, 3rd fret. I recommend the ring finger, but I've seen people use their pinky on the 4th string, 5th fret. Classic power chord grip, right? And again, there's no secret. You just have to get good at jumping up and just grabbing that 2-note, 2-finger chord. It's going to come back at the end. So all the work you put into the first half of the song is going to help you with the second half of the song. So in slow motion again, example 6. Here comes the D minor. And the same thing is true. Do not abandon the entire D minor chord just because you've come to the last measure. For sure, you need that middle finger to still be down. It's a D power chord, you know? And then there's that same quick jump to that same C power chord. And the whole thing starts again. That's something different, right? Is it a bass note run? We're pushing the definition. It's a cool thing on the bass strings that helps you get to the next chord. So don't forget, this is the ultimate guide to bass note runs. It's not the boring guide to boring bass note runs, right? It's like, let's have some fun. Let's get creative here. And hey, man, somewhere in the universe, there's some song that's the best way to connect A minor and D minor, you know, in my humble opinion. All right, questions, comments, you guys good with that? Like I keep saying, everything you're looking at here will shortly be available at my website, along with, there we go, along with, I'm just moving my guitar stand over. All right. All the other bass note runs, we did G going to C, we did A going to D, we did E going to A, we did E minor going to A minor, and this week has been A minor going to D minor. There you go. Good times, man, good times. Okay. My friends, hey, if you're on social media anyways, give me a follow, Facebook or Instagram. Just do a search for SongBike, all one word, SONGBIKE, and you'll find me. And I post stuff, mostly stuff about this live stream, the occasional picture of me from first grade. That was probably my most popular post of 2025. I mean, it's a pretty killer picture. If you want to see it, you can see it in last week's live stream. Hey, you guys, I'm sure you know, we've done 112. This is number 113. I believe every single one, certainly in recent memory, every single one is timestamped. So when you go back to look at my first grade picture in live stream number 112, you don't have to watch the whole live stream. You can go right to the part where you can see that picture. And anything else that you're interested in. In fact, you can go back to any live stream and say, I wonder what they talked about in this live stream, blah, 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 and go see what topics or lessons or whatever catch your attention. It's a lot of them, huh? 113. DAC Poet, you missed that picture. Oh, it was a killer. It was both the glasses I'm wearing and the shirt I'm wearing. I'm pretty sure those have both come back into fashion more than once. Yeah, I wish I had both of them still, the glasses and the shirt. Oh, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, my friends, we have some more stuff coming up. Don't go anywhere. We have a thing I'm calling Octaves, an octave guide to the neck from a guitar player I follow on social media because I like what he posts. And so I'm going to share his name and information with you. Some of you who are regular viewers of this live stream, you'll recognize his name because we've done other stuff that I have picked up from his posts, and I'm always happy to give him credit, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But anyways, using octaves to learn the neck of the guitar. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We have another virtual play-along song coming up. Let me look at my agenda here. Got plenty of time. Okay. We did this. We did this. Oh, let's share a fun quote. I got a quote for you. And I'm happy to give credit where credit's due. Okay. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And I saw what I thought was a great quote. And I'm going to show you guys. Is that the thing? That's the thing. Okay. Now this might be pretty darn big. I want to make sure this is not too big. I don't want to knock you guys out. You guys seeing this? Okay. I like this quote a lot. For those of you maybe who are listening and not watching, Jake Estner. I do not know who Jake is. Looks like he's got a cool guitar in his picture. He posted this a while back. And I will read to you what this post says. How to impress non-musicians. The way to impress non-musicians is play something pretty. How to impress beginner musicians, you play something fast. How do you impress intermediate musicians? You play something fast and complicated. How do you impress advanced musicians? Play something pretty. There you go. I like that. That works. That works, you know. So let's call that the teacher quote of the week or Instagram quote of the week. I like that. That works for me. So there you go. There's something to think about from Jake Estner. Jake, thanks for posting that. All right, we'll close that down. We try to keep things interesting here. Check. There's a segment that I call Should I Sell Out? And because I get these offers, really random stuff that someone has decided that a YouTuber with a certain amount of followers or whatever should try to sell to you guys. And I got nothing this week. In fact, it's been a dry spell. So nothing to tell you this week. Let's check in with our poll. Have you voted? Hey, Chaz, thank you for your super chat. Chaz and AZ and Barry, I appreciate your super chat donations. I really do. Thank you so much. Let's check in with our poll. Did you vote? I hope you voted, but it's not too late. The poll question of the week: is your guitar the right one for you? Answers include, yeah, I love the sound and the look and the feel of my guitar. 61% of you feel that way. That's awesome. Some of you might feel my guitar is good enough for now. It's good enough. And that's about a third of you, 32%. 6% say, no, my guitar is not the right one for me. I need something different. 6%. Yep, I understand. Maybe you can trade in what you got. It's worth thinking about, Beginner guitar lessons is in the chat. Hey, beginner guitar lessons. Beginner guitar lessons, you're asking about your guitar. Tell me what guitar you're talking about, and I will give you my opinion. Okay, but until we do that, okay, let's do the thing. Let's talk about Nobuki. Nobuki, where are you, Nobuki? You guys may be familiar with the name Nobuki Takamen for many reasons, including the fact that I learn things from him because I think he's great. And here we go. And I'm going to give you an exercise there we go. And I'm just going to share a screenshot of the man himself because that just seems like the right thing to do. Okay, and then we'll talk about this exercise. Hope you got your guitar handy. Hope you have your pick handy. You'll need your pick for this as well. Okay, how about that right there? Let's try that out. Okay. Now, there you go. Okay, now I like Nobuki Takamen a lot, and I highly encourage you guys to give him a follow on social media. We're looking at a screenshot from his Instagram page, and he has lots of stuff for sale. Buy his stuff. I like his style quite a bit, and that's why I steal things from him and give him credit, and I hope he doesn't mind. So for the record, send him money. He's great. And one thing I find very interesting about his posts, he does stuff that's pretty accessible, clear, easy to understand stuff like what we're about to do right now. And then he does some relatively, intense jazz stuff as well. And I get a kick out of the fact that he's the kind of guy who will present both those kinds of things. So what are we looking at right here? This is a post from a few weeks ago, I believe. It's a finger exercise. Those numbers at the top of the page, for our purpose right now, those are both finger numbers and fret numbers. So the 1, 2, 1, 2 is your first and second fingers at the first and second frets. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for the moment, we're treating this as both which finger to use and which fret to play at, same thing. Okay, you guys okay with that? Now, interestingly, when he presented this, he did it all with downstrokes. I do not know why he did it all with downstrokes, but in the spirit of doing what the teacher says, I'm going to do it with all downstrokes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. Okay, just a nice workout for your fretting hand. Now, move up a fret. Okay, and now these are which fingers you're going to use. I know we're no longer at the first fret anymore, but we're still going to do first finger, second finger, first. You get the idea? You keep moving up. Okay, now what I can't explain is if there's any deep, deep significance in these exact combinations. I don't think there are. It's just a cool exercise. You could make up your own mathematical exercise, but this is a good one. Why not? Do it on all 6 strings. Do it all until you run out of frets. Knock yourself out. You could easily spend a couple minutes doing this. Don't get caught up in how fast you're going. It's way more important to get good, consistent, clear sounds, to be in control, right? You don't want the guitar to be playing you. Ask yourself, does every note sound equally good? Does every note ring clearly? Are you staying on the extreme tips of your fingers? Are you remembering to breathe? And again, I'm doing all downstrokes. Nothing wrong if you want to use this as an opportunity to do down, up, down, up. I'm just, I watched his video. He did all downstrokes. I thought, okay, fair enough. So Nobuki, thank you, Nobuki. Not the first time that we've done an exercise based on stuff that I've seen from his posts. So, hey, look at that cool guitar he's playing, a Stratocaster style guitar. But look at that big old humbucker in the neck position. It looks like it's a Suhr guitar, SUHR. If you stare closely at that headstock, you can see a big letter S there. It looks like that's a Suhr guitar. Very pretty guitar. He always has cool guitars in his posts. Okay, so there he is, Nobuki Takamen. Highly recommend following him and enjoying the stuff that he presents. And hey, if you're curious about some cool jazz exercises and jazzy stuff, then you can get that from his videos as well. Okay, you guys, I hereby declare it is time for our second play-along song of the week. We did a Hank Williams song. Now it's time to do a song about Hank Williams. And here it comes from Waylon Jennings. Here we go. I've got these alphabetically. Okay. Now, this song checks a lot of boxes for me, and you'll see very quickly why this song made it into our rotation, so to speak. From Waylon Jennings, the other reason we're going to be demonetized this week. Are you sure Hank done it this way? Capo at the 2nd fret. What do you see? 2 chords. Yeah, man. 2 chords. We're going to be playing this song very shortly because I really, there should be too much to say about a 2-chord song, if you want to strum the chords along with me, capo at the 2nd fret. If you want to play some lead guitar, no capo. And look at that combination of options right there. This song, it actually sounds cool to solo with both the B major pentatonic and the B minor pentatonic scales. I circled all the Bs. That's why those have circles around them. So those of you who want to play along tonight, there you go. No capo, those 2 scales, and have fun zipping between the 2 of them. I think you'll get a kick out of it. What was I going to say? If it seems weird to be using B scales when the song is full of A and D chords, don't forget those of us who are playing the A and D chords, we're capoed up 2 frets. So the A and D chords are going to sound like B and E chords, and that makes it a little more obvious why I would be using B scales, right? Okay. Anyways, for those of you who are going to bang out the chords with me, oh man, we're going to have a fun time. A, D, A. Long story short, 4 steady down strums per chord. That's the whole song. A 4 times, D 4 times. Same old tune, fiddle and guitar. Where do we take it from here? Now, for sure, I will start messing around with it a little bit. At the heart of everything I'm about to play, 4 A's and 4 D's. As the spirit overtakes me, I'll probably do some other stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's still going to be 4 A's and 4 D's, and that is the entire song. So you can see why it made the cut. Let's just jump in and do it. I don't think there's much more to say about this, right? Screen is blank. Okay, give it a minute. The screen will populate. I wonder if sometimes some of you, this pops up faster than others. Tell you what, if anybody can see what's on the screen there, the lyrics and the chords for Waylon Jennings' classic song called Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way? If anybody can see it, let me know. It's good now. Thank you, beginner guitar lessons. All right. So that's what we're looking at, man. 4 A's and 4 D's. He kind of vamps on the A's and the D's in between the verses, and I'll do that too. But doesn't change what's happening in the song. A 4 times, D 4 times. There you go. You know. Questions, comments, you guys good with that? Capo at the 2nd fret. By the way, this is my decision to put the capo at the 2nd fret. We could have done it with no capo, and it would be B, like baseball, going to E, like echo. But it's so easy to go A to D, right? So easy. So this is my idea. I have no idea how Mr. Jennings recorded it. I'm not even concerned, because you know what? This is how we can do it, and it's so fun and easy. All right. Enough yapping. Let's get right into it. Are you sure Hank done it this way? From Waylon Jennings. I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lord, it's the same old tune of fiddle and guitar. Where do we take it from here? Rhinestone suits and new shiny cars. It's been the same way for years. Somebody told me when I came to Nashville, son, you really got it made. Oh, Hank made it here, and we're all sure that you will. I don't think Hank done this way. Well, I don't think Hank done it this way. Ten years on the road, making one-night stands, spinning my young life away. Tell me one more time, just so I'll understand. Are you sure Hank done it this way? Did old Hank really do it this way? Lord, I seen the world with a 5-piece band, looking at the backside of me, singing my songs in one of his now and then. But I don't think Hank done them this way. Oh, I don't think Hank done them this way. Pretty straightforward, right? You bang it out, man. You bang it out. 2 chords, 2 chords. In a minute, I will tell you why this song came across my little imagination here. What do you think? Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Just rocking it, right? A to D. Anybody play some lead guitar in there? Hope you did. Hope you did. Beginning guitar lessons, you're talking about your Zach Wow guitar. Very eye-catching guitar. I have a feeling it weighs about twice as much as what I wish it would weigh. But yeah, I saw that photo of you playing the video of you playing that Zach Wow guitar. Very cool. The Bullseye Les Paul. Okay, you guys good with that? Pretty straightforward tune. So we have the song written by Hank Williams and a song about Hank Williams. Why not? The one and only Hank Williams. All right, excellent. If you wanted to play it with no capo, obviously you could play a B chord, just take an A chord, play it with one finger, move it up 2 frets, there's a B chord. I'll say that again. Take an A chord, play it with one finger, slide up 2 frets. As long as you focus on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, that's a really easy way to play a B chord. And you can just play an old-fashioned E down here. You know, could be a little bit of a challenge. If you're looking for a little challenge, you'd be jumping from a little bar at the 4th fret back to an old-fashioned E. There's lots of ways of playing B and E, but that's one way. You can play a B power chord and an E power chord. So many options, but the capo kind of makes it a moot point. All right, hope you had fun, man. Thank you, Waylon. So that, what you're looking at right there, that will also be available at my website very shortly. As you guys know, we wrap up. We'll probably wrap up in a few minutes here, and then the fun begins. I go into the description of this live stream. I start putting in links and different things in the description, and then also upload a bunch of PDFs from the live stream to my website, song-bike.com. I hope you become a member of my website. You get stuff, including access to a bunch of PDFs that reflect stuff that we've talked about for, you know what? Hey, Randy, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. I really do. I thought to myself, you know what? Instead of talking about it so much, I could just go like this. Okay, stand by. Hold on. Not that. That's what I want. Okay. I have to log into my own website. Yep, I get it. It feels like like I should complain. But okay, there we go. Okay, so you ready? Here, those of you who are curious, like, what does it mean to go to, become a member of the website and get access to stuff? Okay, check this out. Hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. If your screen goes blank, hang in there. Okay, so here are the dozens and dozens and dozens of PDFs. In some cases, there's links to YouTube videos as well that are available to members of my website. So you guys seen this okay? Some of the ones that I remember doing and liking very much. Right from the start, the Autumn Leaves chord melody arrangement. I remember that one. We should do that since tis the season, right? Georgia on My Mind, the Spider-Man exercise. I remember these. The Stand By Me challenge. That was an epic one. Like just playing Stand By Me a whole bunch of different ways. Dirty Work, the Steely Dan song, Dirty Work. Yeah, man, some cool stuff here. Different ways of playing Twist and Shout. Waiting in Vain by Bob Marley. Yeah, man. A lot of these are things that we did as virtual play-alongs. The William Tell exercise. I remember that one. Look at this. Friend of the Devil. Playing chords with harmonics. That was a cool one. I like that one. The First 5 challenge. I have been doing that with my students ever since I did it with you guys. Someday Baby, maybe my favorite play-along, like bluesy play-along thing of 2025 for sure. Southern Cross, right. Seven Bridges Road, the worksheet that gets you prepared to play Seven Bridges Road. A lot of cool stuff. Even Justin Bieber, look at that. Peaches by Justin Bieber. Especially these last 40, 50, 60 PDFs all reflect, most of them are things that we talked about here in the live stream. So, okay, just want to give you guys a little taste. Those are the ones that are available now, and I'll be adding, I add to that list every week. It's the least I can do for members of my website. So those of you who are members, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, you guys. So have you voted? I hope you voted in the poll. The question is your guitar the right guitar for you? It might be. I hope it is. But if it's not, what are you thinking? Is it good enough? Let's see. 64%, you guys are happy with your guitar. You really are. You love it. 30% say it's good enough for now, and I appreciate that attitude. That's a healthy attitude. 6%, though, that 6%, we're sticking with 6% of you like, no, you need something different. Yep. So if you're looking for, if you feel you need something different, I'm curious, is it that you have an acoustic and you'd like to get an electric? Is it that the item you have is it's more the feel of it is not right? Is it the, the glamour? Maybe you want a beautiful, something, and the one you have is not that thing. Is it the glamour of it? And I'm a fan of, you gotta, there's a lot of reasons to love your guitar, and nothing wrong with wanting your favorite color. Nothing. How about a guitar of your birth year, right? I know guitar collectors who are into that. They were born, let's say 1970 for a round number, and they really want to get a certain 1970 guitar because that's your birth year, man. I get that. There's a lot of reasons to want that one thing that you don't have. I get it. I get it. So don't forget to vote. Hey, we got time to bang out one more weekly teaching feature, also known as WTF, and I think you'll get a kick out of this. Okay, where are we here? There we go. Number 1 and number 2. Okay, octaves. Let's use octaves as a way of learning your way around the guitar a little bit. Let's start with that one. Boom. And then can I make that small? Will it still show up? Okay. I don't want that. I don't want that. Nope. I got to make it big. Hang in there. Hang in there. Okay. That one. And I'm going to put it like this. Okay. And then I'm going to go like this. Don't mind me. I'm just muttering here. Okay. And I want that. Okay. So, you could see this as like a physical exercise, I suppose, but it's not meant to be a physical exercise as much as a new and novel way of looking at the guitar. So I happen to choose the note E because us guitar players, we love E's. E just feels like a a great available accessible note on the guitar. We have the 2 E strings for starters, right? Notice this little pattern right here. I connected the open E, 6th string E, with the 4th string 2nd fret E, with the 2nd string 5th fret E. And it basically makes a little diagonal line. You don't have to hold those notes down at the same time. If you can, great, but that is not the point of this particular exercise. This is more of a visual thing. Anywhere you look on the page, you find a low E, 1 octave higher that the next E is available when you skip over a string and go up 2 frets, and the next one you skip over a string and go up 3 frets. And that pattern, you can see it happens 3 times up and down the neck. Interesting, huh? Again, you choose a low E, skip over a string up 2, there's, let's call it middle E, skip over a string, go up 3 frets, and there's high E. Interesting. So if you can find one, you can find all 3. Does that make sense? Now, does this unlock the fingerboard? Oh, I sure hope it does, but that's not, it's not meant to, change the way you play guitar forever. But it's an interesting phenomenon that's worth throwing up there on the big board and checking that out, right? Okay, so octaves. By the way, assuming your guitar is perfectly in tune and the intonation is perfectly adjusted, as you move through the octaves, each higher E vibrates at exactly twice the speed of the lower E. So if my fat string E, I should know this off the top of my head, if that's 100 vibrations per second, hypothetically, 4th string 2nd fret E is 200 vibrations per second, and 2nd string 5th fret E, 400 vibrations per second. If your guitar is perfectly in tune, and if those numbers don't multiply the way they're supposed to, then your guitar is a little bit out of tune. And Beginner Guitar Lessons is pointing out that as you look at this, you see all sorts of other relationships, and that's really valuable, right? Other patterns pop out at you. So for the moment, I figured let's look at these in terms of octaves. Questions, comments, any thoughts? I'm curious to see if any of you are well aware of this, or if you've never even thought about the guitar this way before. I never. This was new to me. When I saw this, I didn't. I know what E's are in general, but I really liked seeing it written this exact way, with these lines and everything. Somehow that just felt. Well, I just never thought of it that way before. So maybe you feel the same way. The guitar is so unique in not just that it's visual. I mean, the piano is visual, drums are visual, right? A lot of instruments are visual. It's not just that the visual nature of it, it's the inconsistent nature. The piano is not inconsistent, right? The piano is nothing but consistent. And the guitar is weird, man. It's weird. With no obvious benefit. The banjo is weird because the banjo is tuned to an open G chord. So at least it's an open tuning. At least there's a benefit to why the banjo is tuned the way it is. The guitar, there's not, if there ever was an obvious benefit to this exact guitar tuning that we all consider normal, it has been lost to history, my friends. At least I don't know why we tune the guitar the way we do. No one's ever explained that to me. I've never seen it. And obviously, hey, beginner guitar lessons is encouraging everybody to hit the like button. Yeah, why not hit the like button? Okay, so I'm going to do one more. Boom. Okay, and here's, close that. Okay, here's the other octave sheet. Get rid of this one. Okay, I want that one. Okay, and this. Get rid of this. Share. Okay. And just, another like little follow-up. Okay, see that one? Okay, now don't freak out. I made this one number 2 because it's a little freaky. I get it. But just another way to think of things on the guitar. Let's look at the fat E string, 12th fret first. I know it's a crazy zigzag, but okay. The E on the A string, 7th fret, is the same sound, the same frequency. And so is the next one. That's the 4th string, 2nd fret. So I know you believe me, because why wouldn't you believe me? But, and when I say the same sound, I mean it's the same octave, the same number of vibrations. There's an argument to be made that the timbre is a little bit different. Timbre, timbre. The fat string sounds like a fatter string, a little thickness, and the subsequent strings sound a little twangier, but we're gonna put a pin in that. So what am I doing? I'm going backwards 5 frets. I'm going to the next skinny string, going backwards 5 frets. Not a coincidence. All E's. By the way, I'm choosing E arbitrarily. I had to choose some letter of the musical alphabet, so why not E? But there's no significance to E necessarily, right? We, as guitar players, E is a note that in general is kind of available to us, and we find ourselves thinking about E a lot. Okay, that's all. Now, I did the first 3 on the left-hand side. Each time I'm going backwards 5 frets until I can't go back 5 frets anymore. I'd be in negative territory. So now I've got to jump up 7 frets to 9 on the 3rd string. Now, if there's any significance to that, it's that the number 12 is a big deal in music. There's 12 notes, for example, in music. That's a pretty significant thing. Or another way to say it is there's 12 names of notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the 5 sharp flat keys. That's 12, or 5 sharp or flat notes. So to jump, backwards 5 but up 7, it is not a coincidence that 5 and 7 add up to 12. So if you need any comforting, if this is starting to be too many numbers, you're like, oh my God, just know that the fact that 5 and 7 equal 12, there's some logic going on there. Notice what happened when I jumped up to 9. I'm playing a different octave all of a sudden. That's okay. It's still the note E. It's almost like we're getting a refresh. We jump up to the G string 9th fret and like, whoa, we're starting a new octave. Little refresh, little reset. So remember the pattern was go to the skinnier string, backwards 5 frets. Well, because the guitar is weird, capital W weird, when we're going from the 9 on the G string over to the B string, we only go back 4 frets instead of 5. The guitar is weird. G and B have a unique relationship. You just have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Don't blame me. So I'm jumping from 9 on the G string to 5 on the B string. Now the pattern goes back to what we expected. To find one more E, we go to the skinnier string backwards 5 frets. Guess we get the open E string. Okay, so I don't have a big agenda here. I just figured I'd show you guys these 2 octave relationships. And let's all sit with it for a minute. If this helps you, find your way around the neck of the guitar, or at a minimum, if it kind of demystifies things a little bit, or gives you a notion that there's some logic here, great. Maybe at some point I'll make an exercise that puts this information to use. At the moment, I figured you guys have stuck around for the whole show. I thought I'd throw something your way that's a little bit different. All right. So did we do it? Did we have a show tonight? We did. Got off to a late start, a few technical difficulties. If I knew why there are technical difficulties, there wouldn't have been technical difficulties. I don't know, man. I don't know. Ghosts in the machine. But thanks for sticking with me, everybody. So there you go. Some WTFs, weekly teaching features, some things that came up with me and my in-person or online students during the week. A couple play-along songs, a couple of shout-outs to talented people, a variety of stimulating quotes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's do this again. It's going to be a great show next time. That's all I know. That's all I know for sure. All right, I'm going to, Rock Lobster, I like your attitude. Rock Lobster says, every little pattern helps. Yeah, why not? Why not, I'm going to say a few good nights. Hey, DAC Poet says, thank you. DAC Poet, thank you for being here. I'm going to say a few good nights. Our moderators, Beginner Guitar Lessons and Music Fan, thank you for being here, you guys. Couldn't do it without you. So say a few good nights to DAC Poet, Beginner Guitar Lessons, Wingo, Barry, good night. Chaz says, maybe you could put a list of the songs you do here. Yes. Chaz, I can do that. Chaz, I can also email you that list. So don't hesitate. Until I do what you just said, you're welcome to email me. But that's actually an easy thing for me to upload to my website. So I can pull it off. But info@song-bike.com. In fact, if any of you would like a master list of every song we've ever done as a virtual play along and which live stream to go to do it, just send me an email, info@song-bike.com, and I'm happy to send it your way. Say a few more good nights. Randy, Wingo, Rock Lobster, John. Hey, John, thank you for being here, John. John is suggesting checking out auctions, getting guitars at auctions to get an inexpensive guitar, and see if you like that better than the one you have. Very cool idea. Moon Pie, thank you for being here. Who else? Who else is here? I see Pooba John, if you're still here. All right. Thanks, everybody. All right, you guys, I will see you next Saturday. We'll have some fun. My weekend begins now. I hope you have a great week. Hope you play the guitar lots and lots and lots. I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.